Good day, I am Shaila Emniel from BSAIS 4A. So among the 6 activities that are included in the video, I have chosen Decision Maker, Payroll, and Sales Report. First is Decision Maker because I think I can apply it to my everyday life because every day, choosing between two things, situation or people, and weighing some factors to arrive in a decision is inevitable. And for someone like me who needs a basis to decide for something, I think it is really helpful because while doing it, I feel like I am reflecting on how factors affect me and enlighten me on what aspect of my life did I value the most. But no matter what decision we make, and what path we choose to take, it will still lead us to our ending. Let's just accept the consequences and be accountable in it. So next is payroll and sales report. So I chose it because I wanted to master it and I foresee myself doing it in the future, or simply because it is applicable to my field of study. And if there is one thing I realized while doing this activity, that thing is that you can learn everything if you wanted to. It takes time to master it. It's stressful, especially if there's a lot of process that you can't understand, but there is satisfaction in finishing it. It is only a preparation, and it is better for us if we are well prepared because, like what others said, luck favors the well prepared, but you don't need luck anyway. What matters the most is your capability, your mastery, and in the end, like what I said to myself as I finished this activity, good job, you did it. Sorry if it's a long introduction. Now let's proceed to my performance. So the first task that I have chosen po is decision maker. Wherein in this task, I'm going to pick a job, then weigh the factors depending on my opinion in order for me to arrive on the career or the job that I should pursue based on the result that I will get here in Excel. So let's start by putting the title career decision. Then let's put the job here. So the job that I have chosen are CPA, financial analyst, then auditor, tax specialist, and lastly is in the academe or becoming a teacher. Then let's wrap this one by highlighting the cell A and clicking this wrap text. Then like the factors in the video, I also use pay as the factors, job market, enjoyment, my talent, and last is schooling. So let's wrap this up. So another method is clicking this or double tapping this side of the cell. So let's assume that 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest, or 5 is the best and 1 is good. So since all of these 5 jobs are well-paid job, I'm going to put 5 in the CPA, financial analyst is 4, auditor is 5, and tax specialist is 4. Academe is also 5, especially when you're in a CPA or when you have your MBA. It was based on my research. So as for the job market, since these jobs are in demand in today's situations, especially in this pandemic where limited face-to-face interactions took place or happened, so I'm going to put here 5, and all of this are 5, so I'm going to drag it down for it to copy from the top up to the bottom. As for the enjoyment, CPA, I will put it 5. Financial analyst is 3. Auditor is 5. Tax specialist is 3. And for the academ is 5. I will put here, I will base it on the mastery of the subject, or the accounting subject, the theory, and how to solve the problem or thing. So it's 4, 3, and auditing is 3. Tax specialist is 3, and for the academics, I will put it 5. So as for the schooling, I will put it 5 all, or the same 5. Now let's get the total by using the formula equals sum and dragging this one. Then close parenthesis by clicking Shift 0 and enter. Another method is by using the auto sum. So let's highlight first this cell, then click the auto sum in the home. Yeah. Then let's drag it down for it to copy. So based on it, the job or the career that I should pursue is the academic. Well, absolutely, I will agree on it because I really love teaching. So let's assume that these factors are equal or have a relationship with each other. So let's use relative importance in order to get the possible job that I should pursue. So let's insert some columns here by right clicking, then insert, or use the shortcut key Control Shift plus, Control Shift plus, and Control Shift plus. So like what I've done here, I will also use the assumption where 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So as for the PA, I think it is also important, but the job market is the most important, and also the enjoyment. My talent is, I will put a 3, and schooling is 3. So in order to get it, we're going to use the formula relative importance times the factor. Let's put it equals times C4 Shift 8 to get the multiplication sign, then B5, press enter. So in order to use this formula from in the other computation that we're going to do, we will going to use the absolute referencing, wherein we're going to put the $sign here, or you can use the shortcut key F4, but it will put a $sign here before the number, before the letter. So press enter, then let's drag it down, and then copy from the other column. You can copy by clicking right click, then copy, then right click, then paste, or you can use the shortcut key Control V. Now that's it. So as for this computation, that's all checked it, and we know that it is wrong. So let's edit it out by using by following the proper computation, which is equals, then this one plus this plus 25 plus 12, then plus 15, then press enter. So this is the total computation for the final answer. Then drag it down to copy, and we arrive on the answer that the career that I should pursue is the academe or becoming a teacher. And let's put it the title total. So in order to avoid confusion, we can use this fill color. So let's put some color here. I'm sorry if it didn't blend that way. And as for this part, in order to represent the highest number or the highest amount, let's use conditional formatting by highlighting this cell, click conditional formatting here, then the top and bottom rule, and the top 10. Then press OK, and that's it. Academe has been highlighted, which is 100. And let's end this by putting my name here, Shayla Lian. So the next activity that I'm going to perform is the payroll. Wherein in this activity, I'm going to set up a group of employees, then give them some fake numbers, their hourly wage, and calculate how many hours they work. So let's start it by putting the title employee payroll here. Then let's put the title in every column. Let's start with the last name, then the first name, the hourly wage, then let's put the date here, January 1, and at its top let's put the hours worked. Then let's put pay here. So the next one is that we're going to invent some names for our employee. So let's start it by inventing some name. Let's make it small. So these are the names that I invented: Tia Ludemer, Marta Madrigal, to Immune 6. So it's a total of 21 names. So the next step is that we're going to assume their hourly wage. So let's assume that Leah Ludemer has 50, Marta Madrigal has 45, Deborah has 50. So these are the remaining hourly wage that I assume for the remaining employees. So as you can see, all the numbers are right justified, and all the words or letters are left justified. So it is one way of the Excel to identify or to easily identify which are numbers and which are letters. So its main purpose is to avoid confusion. So the next is that we're going to assume the hours they work. So let's assume that 40 is their average hours work. So let's have here 40, 41, 43, and so those are the remaining assumed data for the hours work. So for now, our next step is to calculate the pay. So in order to calculate the pay, we're going to multiply the hourly wage to the hours work. So we're going to use the formula equals, then hourly wage, shift 8 times 40, and press enter. So a total of 2,000. And then let's copy this formula by dragging this cell up, dragging this down, or another method is right click, then let's copy and paste it here. Or another method is to highlight the cell and click Control V. So that's it for the hours pay. So next is we're going to add some few lines below to find the maximum and the minimum. So let's put max here, minimum, then the average pay, then the total pay. So to find the maximum, we're going to use the formula equals, then max, and highlight this range here. Close parenthesis, shift 0, and press enter. And for the minimum, let's use the formula equals the mean. Then again, let's highlight this range, close parenthesis, shift 0, and press enter. Or another method is let's put the equal sign here, Then for the formula, let's find the average. So let's calculate the average. And click OK. Then for the average, let's highlight it. Highlight this one. And press OK. So since there are a lot of decimal places, we can minimize it by clicking it here. Since it is average, so let's put it here at 2 decimal places. Next is we're going to find the total. So we're going to use the formula equals and then sum. Then let's highlight this cell or this range, close parenthesis, Shift 8, and press enter. So to copy this formula, we can copy it out by dragging this into column D. So before we extend this employee payroll sheet, let me first format the hourly wage and the pay into dollar or currency format. So let's highlight this hourly wage, go to the home tab and press dollar. So if you don't want to put those decimal places there, you can remove it by clicking this key. So let's highlight the pay also and put it the dollar sign and remove the decimal places, because for me it's so confusing, that's why I remove it. So in this extension of payroll sheet, we're going to add a new formula, the F formula, and calculate their overtime pay. Since, as you can see, there are those employees who work more than 40 hours, which is the average. So in this E column, let's insert a new column by clicking the shortcut key Ctrl+Shift+. Then let's put it the title overtime hours. So let's drop this by double clicking this one. So the formula to find the overtime hours is hours worked minus 40. So let's try this one, equals hours worked minus 40. So it's not in the general format, so let's highlight this one and change it into the general format first, or the number format, and let's remove the decimal places. So as you can see, it's 40. So let's drag this one. It's 1. So if it's equal to 40 and it's more than 40, this formula is the right formula. However, let's copy this formula into the employee who worked less than 40 hours. So it's -1. So since there's no such thing as negative hours, so this formula is not the right formula. So the command that we wanted is that regardless of whether it is less than 40 or equal to 40, the answer that should be put here in the overtime hours is 0. So to find this one, let's try the if formula, wherein we're going to use some logical reasoning to find the overtime hours. So let's put the equal sign and encode if formula. If formula, by the way, is in, if we're going to go to the formula, it is under the logical category. So as you can see in this if formula, there's the logical test, the value if it's true, and the value if it's false. So our logical test is that the hours worked should be greater than 40. And if it's true, hours worked minus 40. And if it's not true, or if it's false, the answer should be 0. Then let's close parenthesis and press enter. And then let's try to copy this And as you can see, though it is 39, it is not negative 1, but the answer is 0. So it is the right formula that we're going to use. So let's copy this to the remaining employee, or the remaining cell. Then let's highlight this range and click Control V. So as you can see, there's no negative number nor the sign that look like a different sign, or the subtraction sign rather. So let's check the formula for the pay. So for the pay, the only thing that is calculated here is the regular payment, or their payment for the regular hours worked. So overtime hours is not included. So to find it out, let's include here another column and name it the overtime bonus. And then let's drop this one. So to find the overtime bonus, we're going to get first the half of the hourly wage. So we're going to use the formula equals hourly wage times shifts 8, 0.5. That is 1/2. Then we're going to multiply their overtime hours and press enter. So it's not in the number format. That's why it look it that way. So let's try it into number format. Okay. So here, since DL don't have an overtime hours, he don't have overtime bonus as well. So let's try this one and let's see if it's the correct formula. Yes, it is. So as you can see, Lial and Jokno and other employee don't have overtime bonus because they didn't work overtime. So to find the total pay, we're going to add their regular payment and their overtime bonus, or the overtime payment. So let's name or put the title total pay here. Then let's drop this thing up, and the formula for total pay is pay plus overtime bonus. So equals pay plus overtime bonus, and press enter. So as you can see, you'll have 2,000, and then let's drag it down to copy the formula. That's it. So let's format it into dollar format. So this highlighting those employee who have their overtime bonus, and then after that we're going to calculate their maximum, minimum, and average, and total pay. So let's just copy it here, or copy this one to the right. Okay, since my mouse didn't work, let's just copy and highlight the cell and then paste. So lastly is we're going to create the final version of the payroll. So from January 1, we'll compute the entire week of January. So let's start it by inserting column here. So let's highlight for column and click Ctrl Shift plus for the shortcut key. Then for the date, let's find the date or solve the date through using the formula equals, then div 5 plus 7. And then let's drag it here for it to copy from, or for us to have January 29. Then after that, we're going to assume again some hours worked. So let's try 45, then 39, 38, So here I already included or encoded the assumed data that we're going to use. So since we have the hours worked from January 1 to January 29 by 21 employee, let's now compute their overtime hours. So like what we did earlier, we're going to insert 4 columns here, 1 2 3 4, then right click and click insert. Then let's again calculate the date equals January 1 plus 7 and drag to the right. So let's check if this one is also the correct formula. So let's copy it here, the column J, and then let's check. So as you can see, it computed the overtime hours of January 8, and it is the right formula. So let's copy this entire formula to January 29 by highlighting this one, Control C. Let's highlight this and let's Control V. So here it is, the overtime hours. So next is we're going to calculate their pay. So like what we did earlier, let's insert 4 columns, Control Shift plus. Then let's calculate their pay. The date equals January 1 plus 7 and drag to the right. And then let's copy the formula here. And let's check if it's the right formula. So let's double click this one. So as you can see, it computed the hours work of January 1 and January 8. So it is a wrong formula. So let's delete this first. And we're going to use absolute referencing. So by the way, there are 2 types of cell referencing in Excel. The first one is the relative referencing, wherein all the information didn't change when all the information is changed rather when a formula is copied to another cell. So that is the example of it. So it is a relative referencing. It changed from C6 to D6. The other type of cell referencing is the absolute referencing, where we're going to use in here. So in absolute referencing, it refers to a reference that is locked so that the rows and columns won't change when copied. So $sign is used to lock this particular rows or column. So let's try it. So you can lock this one by using the shortcut key F4. It is for the absolute referencing. So let's check if it's the right referencing or the right position of the $sign. So the only thing that should remain constant is the column, and the rows should change. So let's delete this $sign there and press enter. So let's drag this down to copy, and let's copy it here to check. So let's double click it out and see that the hourly wage or the payment for January 1 is calculated by using the computation hours work for January 8 times the hourly wage. Then let's check the another. So as you can see, the only thing to change here is the number and not the letter. So since it is the right formula that we're going to use, let's copy this to the remaining cell. So let's Control C and highlight this cell, this range rather, and let's Control V. And here it automatically computed the proper payment or the total payment for January 15, January 22, and January 29. So next is we're going to compute their overtime bonus. So like what we did earlier, we're going to insert 4 columns, Control Shift plus, and do the date equals plus 7. And then let's check this one. Next is let's check the formula if this formula is applicable to January 8 to January 29. So let's Control C and Control V. So let's check. So in here, what it have been calculated is the hours worked times 0.5 times the overtime hours. So if we double click here and check, so as you can see, what it have been computed is the hours worked for January 1 and the overtime hours for January 8. So it is not the right formula to use. So let's edit this formula by using the absolute referencing. So again, let's lock this one by inserting the $sign and press enter. So let's drag this down to edit and try to copy to the next column, and let's check. So like what we did earlier, so it get the 1/2 of hourly wage and multiply it by the overtime hours. So it is the right formula. So let's copy this to January 15 to January 29 column. Let's Control C and highlight this cell or this range rather, and Control V. The next is their total pay. So let's put the date here, January 1, and let's add plus 7, and let's drag into 3 columns. Okay, 4 columns. Then let's check if it is also the right formula. Control C and Control V. So let's check. So what it has been computed is the payment for January 8 and for overtime bonus of January 8. So what is the right formula? Let's track this down, or this down, and drag it to the right. So yeah, since it looks like it's very confusing, let's go to home and use fill color. So for the hours worked, let's already done included the hours worked. So let's put this color. For the overtime hours, let's put this color. For the pay, let's put this. Sorry if it didn't blend. I'm just randomly picking some colors here. So for the total pay, so let's now compute the total January pay. So to compute the January pay, let's put the title January pay. Then let's compute the sum or use the sum formula. Then sorry, naduling po ako. Here po pala. So equal sign, sum, and let's highlight this one, close parenthesis, and press enter. So let's drag this down to copy the formula, and that's it. So in here, let's use conditional formatting to find out who is the person who have the highest amount of salary. Conditional formatting. Then let's highlight the top 10 press okay. So as you can see, the person who received the highest salary is, let's see, it's 9. It's Marquez Janine. So for us to be easily see who is the person that received the highest salary, then we can use freeze panes, so that when you move this worksheet to the right or to the left, the last name can be visible. So here, go to the view tab and click freeze panes. So in freeze panes, you can have you have a lot of choices, whether it's freeze panes, freeze top row, or freeze first column. So we're going to choose freeze panes. So as you can see, there's a visible line here. So when we move to the left or to the right, the last name is still visible. So the person who received the highest salary it's Marquez Janine, and also it's Legrand Hernan. So below here, let's now compute the maximum and minimum. So let's just copy this formula, redrag this formula over here. Okay, let's enter a link. And that's it. And let's control C. Then let's place it here. So here it is. So let's zoom it out. Then click the entire range and let's justify that in the middle. Yeah. And this is what our employee payroll look like. Here. You can print it by clicking the print, then print. So this, since I'm using PowerPoint 2007, there's no feature here like what we have seen in the video. So we need to click this preview to see. So it looks like this. So in this page setup, you can change it into landscape or portrait. Then in order to make it fit, you can adjust this one. So actually let's try 45 and then press OK. Here, and this is what it looks like. So the next activity that I'm going to perform is the sales report. Wherein in the sales report, I'm going to summarize a large amount of data, then identify who the best salesperson is, and create a pie chart or different chart out of this data. So as you can see, this data are all the assumed data that I base on the video. So the data that I change or those data that are included in the product description or under product description, the store cost, the sales price, the salesperson, and the sales commission. And so under row 1, particularly this row 1, these are the title of the data that are included here. So for the blank spaces, especially under profit, commission, and there's also blank spaces here. Sorry for that. For the sum of all the items, sum of items valued at more than 1,000, sum of all items valued at 1,000 or less. I also going to use computation to find its value. So for the store cost, these are the cost that these products can be sold wholesale. And for the sales price, these are the costs that the retailers sold this product. So since the title and the row 1 are not highlighted or not shown fully, so we're going to use the wrap text where we're going to highlight the row 1. So I already highlighted it out. Then go to the home tab and press wrap text. So as you can see, there's a lot of information that are not visible earlier. So next is we're going to calculate the profit, the commission, and next is to use a text to column to separate first name to the last name. So these are the formula that we're going to use. The text to column, wherein it is used to separate the list of the fill names into last name and first name. Then the if formula, wherein we're going to make a logical comparison between value. The sum if, wherein we're going to returns the sum of all the cells that meet a single condition. Then the sort filter, wherein we're going to sort the content of a range of array in ascending or descending order. So sorry for that loud noise of chicken. For the filter, we're going to use it to filter some range of data based on the criteria that we're going to use. So for the pivot table, we're going to use it is used to summarize sort, reorganize, group, count, total or average data stored in a table. In the pie chart, it is only a representation of those data. So let's first get the text to column formula. Use the text to column formula. So we can do it by highlighting this first one. So as you can see, it is commonly a full name, Jane Mendoza and Jay Soto. So we're going to separate the first name and the last name. So first is let's enter another column here for the space of the last name. So you can right click, then click insert to have that column, or you can use the shortcut key Ctrl+Shift+. So let's highlight this one, highlight this one, the I column, then go to the data tab and choose text to columns. So under text to column, we have the limited and fixed to describe what type of information do we have. So for the delimited text, it has the text that has some character such as comma, tab or space, then separating each group of words that we want to place into its own column. As for the fixed width, it describes text where each group is a set of number or character. So the limited is the proper one based on the information in the column I. So let's click the next, and here we're going to choose the delimiters that we're going to use. So since full name and last name have been separated by space, we're going to click the space, then press finish. So here it has already been divided. So to properly classify we're going to change it into first name, and the other one is the last name. So next is we're going to get the profit. So profit can be get through following the computation sales price less store cost. So we're going to use the formula equals sales price less store cost. So next is the commission. So as for this commission, it has been said that the commission for commission 10% for items less than 1,000 and 20% for items more than 1,000. So here we're going to use a logic, and we're going to use the if formula, or if formula. So for the if formula, we need to put the equal sign, then press if. So here we need a logical test. So for the logical test, we're going to put F2 sales price for the items that is more than 1,000. So more than 1,000, less than 1,000. By the way, you should not put a comma here, since it will automatically put a false here. So next is the value if it's true. So under the logic here at the top, it said that for the item that are sold, that items that is sold less than 1,000, we have 10% commission. So we're going to put profit times 0.1 for the representation of 10%. And if the value is false, we're going to use G2 or profit times 20% or 0.2 and press enter. So as you can see, it will automatically computed the 80% commission of this of Jane Mendoza. So to copy it out, since it was too long, it is actually included 202 sales data, so it will be so hard for us to copy, but there is a shortcut for that. So let's highlight this out, then hold the shift key, then drag a little bit until you reach the bottom of this. So it's 202, and then drag here and here. So go to the home tab and find the fill command. Under the fill command, click down. So it will automatically fill the remaining amount per profit and commission. So in this portion, we're going to find the sum of all the items, sum of items valued at more than 1,000, and sum of all the items valued at 1,000 or less. So let's find the sum of all the items by using the formula sum. And I will just encode the range, which is E2 to E202. Then close parenthesis and press enter. So it's 299,860. As of for the sum of the items valued at more than 1,000, we're going to use the SUMF formula. So as you can see, there's a range, criteria, and sum of the range. For the range, we're going to encode it also. So E2 to E202, comma. Let's put a quotation mark and shift this one and encode 1000. Then quotation mark again and close parenthesis and enter. So it's 254,360. For the sum of all the items valued at 1,000 or less, we're also going to use the formula SUMIF. SUMIF, and the range is E2 to E202, comma, quotation mark. It said that it is less than or equal to 1,000. So quotation mark and close parenthesis and press enter. So it's 45,500. So let's copy it out down here or to the right and change it into dollar sign. So that's it. Next is we're going to use the data and sort filter. So as you can see, there's a shortcut here, the sort and filter, and there's also one here in the data tab, sort and filter. So let's highlight this one or highlight the cell that we're going to use. It's 202 and sort it based on, you can sort it by month, transaction number, product code, store cost, sales price, profit, first name. So let's try this. Let's sort it by product description and press OK. So as you can see, the product description had been arranged from A to B. So it started from bed, bedsides, up to vases. So let's try to sort it by store cost, smallest to largest, and this it's from 500 to 3,500. So next is the filter. The filter command. So when we click filter, it will automatically have this type. So if you click here, you can see a menu or menu. So if you unselect it all and choose the one that you wanted to filter, let's say 500, and press OK. So it will only provide you the amount or the values or the products that the store cost is 500, which is the clock. Another is if it's 1,200, is vases. So let's close this filter. So let's close this filter by clicking this one. And now already have the data that we have earlier. So next is we're going to use the pivot table. So for the pivot table, let's go to the insert tab and then highlight the data that we're going to use. Then click pivot table. So as you can see, this is the data that we're going to use, which is being highlighted right now. Then new worksheet has already been clicked and let's press OK. So as you can see, a new worksheet has been inserted here, and these are the data that we have earlier or we have been highlighted. So now let's find out who is the best salesperson is. So to find it out, let's check the last name for it to be inserted in the row labels, and for the values we have the sales price. So as you can see, it has been inputted automatically here. So for now, let's first identify or get the top 5 of our salesperson. So go to the Volley filters and click the top 10. Then let's change it into top 5. Then press OK. So it is a top 5. So if you wanted it to be sorted out from highest to lowest, you can use sort from largest to smallest, and then press OK. So Salta is the first one, followed by Marquez, Hebron, Mendeja, and Magallanes. So to let's try another format. So let's remove this one, sum, then remove field, and let's click the profit. And then let's sort it out from highest to lowest. So still Hebron yielded the highest profit. Let's get or have the top 5 again. Well, let's say top 2. Let's try the top 2 item. And they are the top 2, Hebron and Marquez. So you can clear the filter. So to summarize the data, let's insert a table. Go to the Insert tab and press the pie, and it will automatically have the division of the profit. So let's put it some label and try this one. So here, as you can see, it has been arranged from smallest or from largest to smallest. Hebron, Marquez is directly for. So let's try another chart by clicking here. Go to the Insert and let's choose the bar chart or MG. Mendeja, Grace, Mendeja, Soto. Let's change this one into this. The top 5 by this one. If you wanted a detailed information. And that's it.